Hey everyone, Mark here at the Redfern Food Forest. Today we're in my garden and I wanted to provide a little update on my mason bee house that I purchased earlier this year, and guess what? It actually worked. Let's check it out. Like I mentioned, I made a video on the installation, the hanging of this mason bee house earlier this year. It's from a company called Bambico. Just bought it at a local store. And when I checked it midsummer, there wasn't a whole lot going on. I looked at it just the other day and now you can see there's actually some mason bees that have made little homes in there, or some nests to hibernate this winter, which is pretty cool. So from what I understand, mason bees, unlike the honeybee that you usually see, are kind of solitary and they're called stingless, and they don't usually attack unless really provoked, I suppose. Which is good for me because I kind of have a bit of an irrational fear of being stung by bees or wasps or hornets. So these guys are perfect for me. They can live out here by my garden, by my mini orchard, provide pollination, and I don't have to worry about getting stung. And this is my first time trying this, but I guess the idea is I'll put this inside for storage this winter, either in the shed here, or maybe in the garage by the house. Keep them nice and safe so they don't freeze too much over winter, and bring them back out this spring, and then they can come out and hatch out of their nest and have the new generation of mason bees. So you can see some of the tubes have been packed, or starting to get packed. Specifically, this one up here is completely closed off. A few of these are getting full of just kind of the mud they use for the nesting. And they're not all full. I'll probably leave it out here for at least a few more months and see what happens until it really starts to get cooler. And then I'll bring it inside. So I'm pretty excited about that. It's kind of an unexpected win. I've had plenty of losses this year. It's been really hot and dry this summer. The last month we've received almost no rain here. The trees and the stuff I'm trying to establish on the food forest are not doing great. Here in the garden I had mixed success. What I do have this year are pumpkins. Let's check them out. I actually have pumpkins all over the garden. There's a handful over there. There's one right here, looking good. A couple ripening up back there. I probably have 10, 12, maybe even 15 pumpkins around here. Most of them are just kind of like your carving pumpkin, your Halloween pumpkin variety. A few of them are, I think, the smaller sugar pumpkins, which we can use to make pies. So I'm pleased with that success. And you may be able to see I have some tomatoes. They're still green over there, but they're ripening up. And I've been harvesting those periodically. There's some more red ones over here I can show you in a minute. In addition to the pumpkins, I have some watermelons that are finishing up and some acorn squash. There we can see some green tomatoes, and just above it is an acorn squash. And over there is an acorn squash. Right there's a small melon, I think maybe some kind of cantaloupe variety. And in here is a really good looking acorn squash plant with at least 2 or 3 ripening up in there nicely. Once they turn orange, that's when we know they're done. There's a red tomato. Over here you can see I've got some more pumpkins. Right there's an example of an acorn squash turning orange, starting to ripen up. And then over here we've got tomatoes, lots of tomatoes, big pumpkin, that's the green one. More tomatoes over here, more pumpkins over there, and some pretty little sunflowers. You can see I've got a few sunflowers planted here. I would love to have more. They're a good pollinator and they add good biomass to the soil. It was a mixed success this year for the garden. As you can see behind me, there's lots and lots of weeds. But you probably noticed over by the pumpkin area, where there's the wood chips down, a lot fewer weeds. So I think the wood chips really worked, and I'm going to double down on that effort over the fall, the winter, and the early spring of next year, and really try and cover this whole area with some weed barrier in the form of paper bags and cardboard, and then pile that on top with leaves and wood chip as a mulch, a moisture retention, and a weed suppressant barrier. You've heard me say that before, I'm going to say it again and again. That's my strategy here, I'm sticking to it. One cool thing I had this year, which I did not plan, it was here previously, are these grapes behind me. Let's go check them out. All these grapes here are ripening up really beautifully. This is a Concord variety, and if you've never had a fresh grape before, which I hadn't until being here, I mean, they're amazing. It's like such a strong flavor. It's like drinking grape juice or something. I didn't really have the time or the knowledge yet this year to learn how to make grape jams or jellies out of them, but I'm gonna pick a few right now, bring them inside, Just kind of use them for fresh eating. I like them, and the kids love them. Until next time, I'll see you in the forest.